Hi, this is Heidi, and I'm here with our fabulous personal trainer, Robert. He is a certified national trainer and is also worked with Fitness on the Rocks, which for those of you that don't know is an amazing workout up at Red Rocks here in Colorado. So, Robert, what do you think is your biggest struggle when training clients?
I think just the lack of motivation that a lot of clients have, so that's probably the hardest part when training a client is really trying to figure out how to properly motivate them in the right fashion. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah, that's what I would say.
What have you noticed works and doesn't work for clients to become healthy and fit?
I'd say the biggest thing for me that I find that doesn't work is putting too much into it all at once. You know, giving somebody a diet and a workout and all kinds of steps and routines that most people just can't follow right away, you know, so it takes a slow implementation.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. Yes, baby steps, exactly. Yeah. So when you try to take a bunch of leaps, you know, usually people fail because they get, you know, if they don't want to, if they mess up on the diet part, then they go, well, I'm messing up on everything, so everything just kind of quits.
Yeah.
So I try to implement everything slowly so they just have a better chance of doing it long term.
Okay. What advice do you have for people that want to get fit and healthy? But are struggling?
Just do it.
Just do it?
Just do it. You know that commercial came out, Cycle Fit, Be Fit, Skateboard Fit, it has fit after everything. So whatever, you don't have to come into a gym and lift weights to get going. It's just get up and get going. If you like playing basketball, go play basketball as much as you want, you know, something that's active. And that's really all you need to do to be fit. It's not a I have to go to the gym and lift weights to be fit. You can do anything to be fit.
Right.
So
walking, hiking, all those sorts of things.
All that stuff.
What advice do you have for people that want to get fit and healthy? And how quick can clients expect to see results?
Seeing results, I guess, is all relative to each client. So, I mean, it really is all your effort level. I always say, you know, it's kind of like that. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
I always say the same thing, but a little bit opposite. I give you the tools, but I won't build your house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, results are, like I said, it's relative. So it just depends on how hard you really want to work. And, you know, if you want something, you go get it. So results can come as quick as a month, and usually, you know, those first results come pretty quickly. But sustained and good results, you know, it just all depends on the level of effort.
Yeah.
So.
And how, I think it's difficult for everybody when they first get started to commit to any effort at all, really,
right.
Because they're used to sitting on the couch all the time, or not, you know, not doing anything.
It's a true story.
Yeah. So even like that first step can be a difficult one. And is there any advice that you can give for that first step?
I guess the best advice.
What are some frequent hurdles that you see?
You know, other people not encouraging you enough for your fitness goals. You know, in the society we live in, it's okay to bring McDonald's to work, but it's not okay to bring your Tupperware of broccoli and chicken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People will clown you and be like, oh, you know, well, you're eating healthy, but if you brought McDonald's in, they would probably praise you almost for it about how good that Big Mac is.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest obstacle is pretty much society that we live in. People want you to kind of be unhealthy because they're unhealthy, so they want you to be in that same kind of group. So they basically try to hold you down because that's where they're at, and they don't want to see you really succeed positively for yourself.
Yeah.
So I said that's a huge hurdle. Just got to stop listening to other people and listen to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And quit eating cupcakes.
Yes, exactly. But you can still eat cupcakes. It's all in moderation, though.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
exactly.
I try not to take anything out of somebody's diet, as opposed to just make them realize that you can't eat 5 cupcakes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 1 cupcake.
Exactly.
Okay.
Moderation.
What is one of the best ab exercises, would you say?
Most all ab exercises are horrible. Core exercises are great.
Okay, all right. Core exercise.
But probably my favorite ab exercise, I hate abs. Ooh, I'd say a full V-up is probably the best, because you know you get some hip flexor in there, you get the full abdominal region. I'd say a full V-up would probably be my favorite if I did one.
Okay. Your favorite one to do, or your least favorite one to do, but the best one for you?
For abs? Just for abs?
Yeah.
Just your standard crunch is probably the best and the worst, I guess. It's so much more than just abs, it's core. I'd say the plank is probably your best ab core exercise you can probably do.
Okay.
I'll throw core in there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What is one of the biggest myths about working out that you want to dispel?
That's a good question. Fat burning zone. I get this all the time, and clients always think that I'm wrong because they read on the internet that you're supposed to walk slow to burn the most amount of fat.
Oh.
Which is semi-true, but you got to look in more in depth, basically. So, on the cardio, on treadmills and ellipticals, they have all your target burning zones. So there's the fat burning zone, the cardio zone, and the aerobic zone. So they say you burn 100% of fat calories in the fat burning zone, which is basically just kind of strolling, walking. We're in the fat burning zone right now.
Oh, man.
We're utilizing fat for burn, right? So people think they could walk for an hour on the treadmill and they're burning 100% fat, and it's all fat calories, right?
Okay.
So why would I ever do 30 minutes on the treadmill running?
Running, yeah.
Right? So that's what people think. But the truth is, if I walked on the treadmill for an hour, maybe I burned 500 fat calories. No other calories, just 500 fat calories. But if I ran on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I'll burn 500 fat calories, but I'll actually add another 200 carbohydrate calories. So my overall calorie burn is higher. I still burn the same percentage of fat, but I add to it. So that's a huge misconception, that fat burning zone. Don't ever come into the gym and just hang out because you think you're burning fat. Because it's all about burning the most amount of calories possible.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't muscle burn fat as well? So, you want to be lifting and...
Yeah, you want to have lean muscle because, the more lean muscle you have, the higher metabolism you have. So therefore, you're kind of feeding your fuel. I like to use it as a train. You just keep putting coal in the fire and you burn hotter and hotter. So that's your muscle. The more muscle you have, the more lean muscle you have, the higher metabolism. So the more fat you'll actually burn throughout the day. So yes, that's true.
Yeah. And cardio is great for your heart. So many people that I know have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Doing a little bit of running, really good for the heart muscles. Your heart, obviously, is a muscle that needs to be worked out too.
Right.
Do you have any other advice that you want to give to people kind of struggling and looking to do the right things, but not able to kind of take that first jump?
Well, if they're struggling with exercise, it's more of, if you start thinking of fitness instead of a goal, it's more of a lifestyle, and you probably, it's super taboo to say that all the time. I'm trying to say it all the time, but it's a true story. You didn't gain the weight in a set goal amount of period, right? You didn't say I'm going to gain 50 pounds in 3 months, right? It just happened.
Right.
So if you just come into the gym, and it doesn't matter how slow you start, as long as you continue to do it for your whole life, the weight will come off and it won't matter, because next thing you know, 2 years down the road, you're like, oh, I lost 30 pounds. Just as crazy enough as you realize that you gained that 30 pounds.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I would say, try to make it as much of a lifestyle as opposed to just a goal, and you'd be on a good track.
Yeah.
If you set up that way.
Okay. Cecile, say it.
Do you think you're prettier than most girls?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, that's a wrap.